Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference 2026 Meet the Speaker series. This afternoon, I am talking to Nele Descheemaecker. How are you? From all the way from Belgium.
Hi, John. Yeah, I'm as good as the weather, and the sun is shining today, so I'm doing well,
There you go.
really
We're
well.
all happy. We're all happy. Now, you are going to be in Dublin.
Mhm.
For those who don't know you, because and many will, because you also run the Hypnotherapy Conference in Belgium.
Antwerp in Belgium. Yeah.
So many people will know you from that alone. But just for you, just your hypnotherapy background and what you do kind of every day, just to lead us into your presentation.
Conversation. Yeah. I'm in hypnotherapy since 2020, so it's about 6 years now. Deep dived into it after a career in an insurance company for 23 years. So with a career switch. But I did switch from one day onto the other to full-time hypnotherapy practice.
Mm.
So deep dived really during COVID, really deep dived into all techniques and studying a lot and following all kinds of trainings, not only hypnotherapy trainings, but also constellation trainings, coachings trainings, body-based trauma work, etc., etc. And that leads to that today I have a hypnotherapy practice that is running really well. I love
Mm.
working with trauma and especially also accompanying young women who are just pregnant and help them to deliver uh, an as trauma-free baby as possible.
That is beautiful. And as someone
Mhm.
who is adopted, that is absolutely beautiful because I know the value of that.
It's really nice to do. Yeah.
No, it's wonderful. It's beyond wonderful, actually. Um, so your presentation is systemic hypnosis beyond the individual, how the subconscious work creates ripple effects in families, teams, and organizations. Now, you've probably already just touched on it in that last conversation we've just had a little bit, but do you want to
So
just expand just a little bit? Just, don't give it all away because, you want
I
people.
won't. Mhm. What I'm going to talk about is indeed how I integrate systemic work, which is working with constellations during the hypnotherapy sessions. Because what I found when I started to work with hypnotherapy as well as with constellations first separately, how they complete each other. But when people come to the therapy room, they don't always have the whole, they have energetically they have the whole family with them. But working only with a constellation was sometimes difficult for people to get out of their head. And when doing a constellation while they are in trance, so during the hypnotherapy session, you can very easily put people in the right place. Quite often with trauma, we are not being seen or standing in the wrong position in the family or in an organization, because I also work with companies. And the whole thing is that I will explain how that really works. First of all, what systemic work is, because maybe some people will not know about constellations, but I
Yeah,
will
and
try
that's
to
what
put
I
that as
was going to ask you just to give a little brief outline on the constellations, because for many here they probably won't be aware of it, and I know it's something that you do quite a lot of, and I'm looking forward to the presentation. But just for those who are listening, could you give them like a 30-second or a minute, and that's asking I know to summarize the whole thing into that, but could you just give a summary of it, just so they know why it's
yeah, what
important and what it is?
Yeah, what we are doing is working with constellations is making, depends if you are working on a family trauma situation, for instance, we work with the whole family,
Okay.
being mother, father, brothers, sisters, even brothers and sisters who were never born or who have been adopted and whatever really puts them on the right place in the first instance is really making sure that everybody is standing in the place. Because quite often we see in families, for instance, that a daughter is taking responsibilities from the mother so that she does not experience support from the parents or is standing in the wrong position simply.
Oh, I
in the
understand.
order, because the order should be father, mother, and then the children the way they are born. And if it's not like that, it gives a weight or a feeling of not belonging to the person itself. And by working, by just simply, and it sounds really simple, and it also is really simple, but the change that it brings is wow. Is making sure that everybody is standing
Wow.
in the right position so that they can energetically also experience the support from the people around
That's
them, the brothers and the sisters, the parents, that they know they can lean on someone that they learn to ask for instance, that they know they are seen, that they feel valued for whom they are, and that they are not carrying parts from the mother, from the father, from the brothers or the sisters, that they are not uh, taking care too much of the others and forget about themselves. All these things are really simply, it sounds very simple, but it is
oh, well, when
effective
you
to
think
work on.
that most of that would tend to be in early years anyway. So, I mean, that then sets a directional tone for the rest of life after that.
It does definitely. It can be early age, but it can also be because of a specific event in the family, a divorce, for
Okay.
instance, where parents split and the father seems to disappear, but energetically the father is still present. That the elder son, for instance, goes and stands on the position of the father, which is making that the whole system is no more in balance.
Yeah,
So it's putting that person then really back on his child position as well. So that's the space for the father and the mother, although they are divorced energetically, they can still stay in balance to support the children. All of this is
that
then
makes
taking place. So
perfect sense.
it's not only in childhood. It definitely there are several moments in life where
Okay.
positions can switch, but they should
Yeah.
not. It
And I'm
happens
not talking just
automatically.
about, but I mean, if it did happen in childhood, you know it's set directional tone for the rest of life. If it happens later on, yes, but at least the direction was was right, I suppose, in the first place. It just took a detour somewhere later on. And but you're so do you this is part of your trauma therapy.
Yes. It is. Yeah. Yeah, because and I always start with that, in fact, when I start with working with traumas, ensuring that people are standing in their own strengths, because it gives
Mm.
them strength, it really gives them grounding,
Positively.
they feel seen, they start to value themselves much more as well, and don't
Yes.
take responsibilities that are not theirs. And quite
And
often, we also work with giving back something that belongs to someone else. As an example, if we know that there is not feeling good enough, quite often we go and look in the generations before that. How was your mother looking at herself as a woman then? We go in the female line in general,
okay.
or if it's a man, looking at what traumas occurred in the man line. And is this really
Mm.
something that happened to you or to someone before you? And then if it is to someone before you, then we mean the father, the grandfather, maybe even before that. We give back the load that someone is carrying that doesn't belong to them, and it creates a relief. In trance, I also they also have a conversation, then really talking to the person, because quite often we are carrying something as a person that belongs to the older generation because we are scared they are not strong enough to carry it, or we want to protect them. And so we carry the burden to protect the generations before us. And by
Yeah.
giving it back to the generations before us, generation where the problem has been caused, they can take responsibility to solve it themselves as well. And it
And
creates a relief really with the one who was carrying, but
that's what I was about to
maybe
ask.
both.
Does that creates relief then in the present?
Definitely, yeah. It creates relief, and as I also mentioned in the title, it creates a ripple effect. What we
Yes.
quite often also see is that inexplicably there are things changing in the relationship also between all the people involved in that the relationship becomes easier, that they can easier talk to each other, or that even the other people experience a relief, which makes that they are lighter, and that they easier connect with other people again, because quite often trauma causes that we close off.
Yeah, that is
Um,
what happens, isn't it? I mean, we give unconscious signals that we don't trust somebody or we don't feel safe with somebody,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
then you start to take those away. So the barriers come down, and people feel that, even if it's
Yeah.
not said in words. That is true, and you use it with teams as well. So it's you use it with families, teams, and organizations. So it's not just
Yeah.
individuals.
No, it is also with teams, but then the context is different because the team is, of course, not family. So then
Yes,
we go and
of
work around
course.
the purpose. Then we work, for instance, around the purpose in a company. And if there are frictions in a team, a constellation is really beautiful to work with because it brings things to the surface that are not being spoken about, things that are not obvious, things that are not seen. The what we
Yes, I
call
know.
in
I understand.
in the understream, is it called also in English, the understream? What's living uh,
Undercurrents.
undercurrents. Thank you.
Undercurrents. Yeah, that's the English equivalent.
And then a constellation can really bring that to the surface really visibly. You can also see
Yeah,
it
no, I
then.
can see it.
Uh, and
And
then
actually,
it
that's really cool.
opens. Yeah, it's really cool to work with that because it opens the door to then communicate about it and bring it to the surface after creating, of course, this first psychological security that people feel safe enough to talk about it because it
Yes.
is in an organization, a work context. It's not the same as a family, of course, but it
No.
definitely does help
Yeah.
also for organizations and teams to thrive
And for any
because
hypnotherapist who wants to work with an organization, this might be something that they should really consider attending, don't you think?
ah, yes, definitely. It's really interesting. I will do my best to really bring as much information as possible in the time I get. And of course,
Absolutely.
people can always contact me afterwards or during the conference. I'm
Of
also there for
course.
3 days.
Yeah.
Looking really forward to it. So, yeah.
It's no, so am I actually, and it's getting so close now. Um, and it's going to be 3 days of absolute learning, but and also fun, a huge amount of fun. I just love the connection. It's a family.
Mm,
It's a hypnosis family because we all have
definitely. Yeah.
one thing in common. Yes, families have difficulties. I know all that, but we also have one
Yeah.
thing in common that most other people don't get. And when we're together, physically together in the same space, those connections are just so much deeper and more meaningful. And
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, yeah. I remember last year. Last year was the first time I attended in Dublin, and it was 1 month before Hypnotic in Belgium, and I had something like, "Oh yes, this was so fun to charge my batteries, really." Because, as you know, John, you were in the last straight line to your conference. It's a lot of work, and you are really
no,
tired.
no.
And I
Where did you
really
get that
charged
idea
my
from? There's no work involved in the conference.
zip. But
I said that with
last
a
year,
straight face. That's really good, eh?
you do well, you do well. But last year, then I really charged my batteries in Dublin. It was so energizing. I met so many lovely people,
Yeah, that's right.
not only from Ireland. It was also really this international mix, which made it so
Yeah, isn't it?
interesting.
I
And you have the
think of
time
11
and
nationalities this time. It's presenting.
11.
I think it's
Nice,
11.
really nice. Yeah, I have to count once for
I think
hypnotic. I
about
was also
14
like,
or 15, 14 or
nice.
15 countries where people are coming from.
Yeah, there are many speakers as well, right? It will be difficult
Yeah, it's three
to
days,
choose
so
the
it's
right
40
room.
odd presentations on literally everything that is hypnotic related. Everything. I don't think there's
Yeah,
anything excluded. And if there is, then mea culpa. I'm sorry. I try to cover as
and
many things as possible.
you have
Um,
really done a great job so
but
far. So
it's the atmosphere that really goes behind it that is what makes it special, I think. So um,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
just
and
want
the
to make sure that that
laughter and the
stays.
joy and all the exchanges and the learning. I learned so much last year also from just tripping from one room to the other, going to all the presentations. And I was amazed last year because at Hypnotic we had not seen that until last year. The way people were hypnotizing each other all the time, really trying out the things, and I had something like, oh wow, nice.
It's a
Yeah,
safe space to do that. So,
yeah,
you
yeah. It
know,
was really nice.
yeah, because you can't always do that in a therapy room. So therefore,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
becomes a safe space to do it and to play with it because it's a wonderful tool, hypnosis. which we can utilize, like, we can utilize it for ourselves and we can also play with it. And conferences are a great place to play with it.
Oh, definitely.
Great
Yeah.
place to take the learning and apply it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. If there is one thing I would dare to advise to any hypnotherapist, in fact, it is to go to conferences. Because when I went to Vegas, also Dublin, I am really learning a lot just by looking around. Kind of, it's not stealing with your eyes because everybody is sharing. So, but you learn so much by looking at the demo, listening to the way the language people use, which words, how the fast inductions, the quick techniques. There's so much to learn.
Yeah,
So
no, there's so much there and it's truly wonderful.
yeah, yeah, that's
Nele,
also
thank you
part of
very
why I
much.
started. Sorry,
Thank you very
you want
much.
me to stop? Okay, thank you, John. Oh,
Um, no, it's been wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. And of course, there is a demo in your presentation as well. So people will get
there
to
is.
see that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in fact, what I intend to do is make it a group experience.
Wonderful. I love that. I love that.
It will not be a demo. It will be something everybody can experience. And then as it's recorded, they can look afterwards and see it as a demo. That's fine.
I'm going to be in that room. There you go.
All right.
Listen, thank you so much for your time today. Really good. Good
Welcome.
to see you. And to everyone
Likewise.
watching, thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. We'll see you all in Dublin on April 24, 25, 26. All the details are on www.irishhypnotherapyconference.ie. And wherever you are, it's a sunny day here in County Wexford, and I hope the sun is shining at the end of April. Have a beautiful day wherever you are. Thank you.
Bye. And see you in Dublin.